Coey Watson, Dawson County Tigers, and this is Blitz.
Dawson County High School, home of the Tigers. I'm Brian Carter, joined by perhaps the greatest of all time, the GOAT for Dawson County, Coey Watson. Man, first of all, just got to tell you congratulations on one heck of a career, man. It's been an honor just to get to watch you week in, week out, see what you've done on the gridiron out there.
Yes, sir.
And I know you've had a chance now here in the last few weeks. Perhaps it hasn't quite sunk in for you that your high school career is over, but I'm sure you've had a chance to start thinking about your career in the rearview mirror, like looking at it in retrospect. What are your feelings on your career?
I feel like I had a good career. As far as wins and losses, I think we turned this program around, and that was the biggest thing for me, is having success here, because I dreamed about playing here. You know, like ever since growing up Park and Rec, I couldn't wait to get up here and be a Tiger. You know, and man, I really do feel like we brought a lot of success to this community and in this town.
Absolutely. And you had the chance to get some playing, be a starter as a freshman all the way through. So I'm going to read these stats out because they're phenomenal. 6,928 passing yards, 65 touchdowns. You got 2,002 rushing yards and another 41 touchdowns. We're looking at over 9,000 yards of offense and over 100 touchdowns. When you see those numbers, what comes to mind?
Hard work, all the time I put in here, and all the people pushing me, my parents, and the coaches that gave me this shot and the chances. Just all the background stuff comes into mind.
Absolutely, and we got to witness your 100th touchdown. I think it was over at Lumpkin County, so it came against the rivals. And I know when I went there to shoot that game, I knew I think I got my numbers wrong, but I knew that game you had a chance at 100. And you kind of got that one in style. You got some style points on that one as well. Right. Can you walk me through that play when you got that 100th touchdown?
Well, the drive before that, I knew I had 99, and when we got the ball, our offensive coordinator, Coach LeBlanc, told me he said, don't make it a 1 yard run, make it something you're going to remember. And it was a speed option to the left, and I saw a cutback lane, so I cut back the other way, and I broke a tackle, and I was like, man, this could be it. I broke one more, and then got in the end zone. I was like, that. And the feeling of that, because I worked so hard for it that year, was special.
Yeah, and again, like you said, I agree with your coach. I mean, that was good not to make it just a 1 yard run, make it with style points too. And walk us through another moment. I know every player has to face this at some point, but your high school career comes to an end in the second round of the state playoffs. When that clock hits zero or the final snap, whatever it was, what was that feeling like when you realized your high school career at Dawson County is over?
Well, it really hurt. It was almost unreal, because every year after that game, it's like I always got one more year. I always got the next year to start preparing. But that one it still hasn't hit fully, And I was ready to get out of there because we got beat pretty bad that night. But instead of worrying about myself, I was worried about Vaughn hitting the mark that he did. So I didn't want to really make it about myself, because I never made much about myself here. I wanted to be about my teammates.
Absolutely. It's going to be weird, by the way, next year, or maybe if they give the jersey a break for a little while. Seeing another player wear 14 is going to be kind of odd out there. Now, you have been very unique. I don't think I've ever seen, in over 10 years of covering high school football in Northeast Georgia, I don't think I've seen a quarterback or a skill position player face the number of injuries that you have and actually play through them. Last year it was really interesting. I think you had a shoulder injury, shoulder or elbow. So you were forced to rely more on the ground game. This year, you dodged a bullet and a very significant knee injury that could have cost you your season. You had to rely more on the passing game then. So what's it like having to play through those injuries, and how are you able to muster up whatever you need to get through that?
Well, it's mostly just how I was raised. I was raised to play through things. If you could walk and you could throw, that you need to play. And it was more for my teammates. I knew they needed me more, not even just for my ability, as more for a vocal leader and just to be out in the field. Yeah. I knew that they needed me out there, so I wasn't going to just I wasn't going to let myself get in the way. I was going to put that behind and play on.
Yeah. All right. So I got to say, I know being able to watch you play over the last 4 years, having you on here a couple of times, I've got to know you well enough to know that you're not a typical high school athlete. And by what you said, you play through a lot of injuries. You think of other people before yourself. And one thing I really noticed is I know after the White County game, that was a tough loss, especially being against a rival like that, and you left everything out on the field that night. Yet you go on Twitter and you said something to the effect of apologizing to the community for letting them down and for your teammates, when there was no need really for you to have to apologize to anybody, because anyone who knows you knows you put your heart and soul into that game. How do you play through the pressures of that, and why do you put so much pressure on yourself?
Growing up here, everybody puts everything they got in the Friday nights. You know, all the old timers here, and you hear it buzzing through the community. I lived for that. I played for that. I played for the people that came here every Friday night. I wanted to do good for them. I wanted them to have something to look forward to on Friday nights. You know, I did it for the town and the community. I love this place, and I didn't let it be a pressure. I lived for it. I couldn't wait for Fridays to play for them, you know. Yeah.
Well, I hope you know that you didn't you're not letting anybody down at all. You're going to be very missed here. And now this is, you knew this question was coming. You've heard this said before. I'm on your side, so I'm not saying this from a critic's perspective, but when you hear recruiters, the theme of the year this year around the region and area, I guess, is everyone's saying that a lot of quarterbacks around here are undersized. So when you hear that, well, Coey Watson's great, he's got the stats, he knows how to win, he's a great team leader, he's selfless, but he's undersized, what would you say to recruiters that tell you that?
I would say look at my heart and look at how I play football. I'm going to help your team just because how much I put into it. Don't look at my size. Look at the size of my heart instead of the size of my stature.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. And here's another message I like for you to deliver, because I know that, again, I've got to know you well enough to know that you're a young man of faith in Christ, and I know that goes a long way in any aspect of life, especially football. But you've been given this platform and to have the success that you've had, and I know you give all glory and credit to God on that. But what would you tell other high school athletes about being humble and how important that is? Because it's a breath of fresh air to see how you have that kind of success, but yet you still make sure that it's not all about you.
Well, it's just not you out there, man. You got God that's giving you the health and the talent, and then you got your parents that's taking you to all the practices, and then once you get out there, you got your teammates that put you in the spot to be the spotlight guy. You know, it's not, you got your linemen and your receivers that catch your ball, and then you got the defense that holds them up. You got everything works into it to put you on that platform. It's not you just doing it yourself. And really, every time I get out there, I'd be like, God, help me through this and help me through that. So it's obviously not me when He's helping me. You know, it's not just me out there. So there's always things playing into it.
Yeah, it's I got to say too, just kind of piggybacking off that. In all our years of covering and interviewing different, there's a select group of quarterbacks especially that come to mind, and that's you and Bailey Fisher, Joseph Mancuso, and getting the chance to know Deshaun Watson a little bit too. Very blown away by how humbled you guys are, even with the level of success you've had. But when, again, we look back at your career, and again, it hasn't quite sunk in yet for you, but is there a particular moment that stands out to you as one of your favorites here at Dawson County?
Probably the Sweet 16 win here over Spencer. Yeah. That night was amazing. Just knowing that you've been farther than anybody that's ever been here went, and then winning a region championship. And probably for my senior year, it'd be beating East Hall here at home just because of how crazy of a game it was, and getting to play some defense that night. So there's so many nights that's been special that I can't tell you my favorite, but those would be some highlights. You know?
That's right. I just remembered you got the, I think we gave you the player of the week for that one, because you did it all that night. You even had the game-winning interception, which is pretty awesome. When you talk about Coey Watson leaving Dawson County, the thing is, for the next 1 year and 2 years, a lot of people at this high school, they're going to remember watching you play out here. They're going to know the stats. They're going to know all that stuff because they've seen it firsthand. But when you talk about leaving a legacy, we're talking about years from now when all that's left is word of mouth. People are going to say, remember Coey Watson. He was a great quarterback here at Dawson County. Go on and on and on. So the firsthand experiences aren't there, but what is the lasting legacy you want to leave to those people years down the road here at Dawson?
Right. It's just like me growing up on that hill watching Tyler and Bruce and Will and Zach Martin and all them. Just you want to be successful when you get up here. And that's what I hope I've left is they see that Dawson County can succeed, can go far in the playoffs, and can win region championships, and can do things that many people would put them out of. That's the biggest thing. That don't let anybody tell you can't do something, because you can do anything.
Absolutely. Yeah. You definitely, you guys, I'm really glad you were able to be a part of turning this program around and putting them on the map, because like you said, not only getting there 3 years in the state playoffs, winning the region title, but each time you guys went to the state playoffs, you made it past the first round. Is that something that you guys talked about, not being complacent, just getting to the playoffs, but making a deep run at it?
Yeah, we every year when we got to the playoffs, we've been here before. It's time to go deeper. You know, Dawson County's done this before. Let's do things that they haven't seen in this community. Let's go beyond. You know.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be different next year without you here, and you guys had a pretty big senior class last couple of years too. So, but somehow you seem to keep churning out players. I know Savon Clark's coming back too. But let's talk about your future a little bit. What's next for Coey Watson? I mean, talk about the recruiting and kind of what your mindset is. You know, getting a college degree and going on from there.
Definitely going to play college football somewhere. There's some schools around here that I like to go to, and being close to home is big for me. I'll miss my family, but I want to get to a place where I can lead a team again and be a contributor to a program.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Well, congrats again on such a great career. It has been an honor to have you on here and to get to watch you play the last 4 years. Distinctly remember as you were a freshman playing at Banks County one time, someone on the sideline told me this quarterback's going to be special, and seeing you out there, I was like, all right, so keeping an eye on you, watching you grow the last 4 years, and all the things you've done, and you've done it the right way, man. So I know you have no regrets, I'm sure,
Yes, sir.
and big things ahead for you. So congrats again, and thank you so much for your time, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man.